and the business leader and philanthropist John Caudwell, who's also been a significant donor to the Tory party. John Caudwell, if I can turn to you. Last week you said to Boris Johnson, sort it out or step aside. The problem is he's not sorted it out, has he?
Well, he can't sort it out until he's given a chance. But, of course, what he needs to sort out is overshadowed now about his own situation and whether he's complicit in the arrangements. And that's why we really do need to wait for Sue Gray's verdict on all of that. But, but I absolutely stand by that. He needs to sort it out. The party needs to clean its act up and go forward. And if that can be under Boris Johnson's leadership, then that's great, because I think he's done a lot of good things over the last couple of years. But if he can't unite the party and get rid of the sleaze and the difficulties that we're having, then a new leader would be better.
But that's interesting, because you're very clear where you stand on disobeying rules and also on sleaze. And I wonder if you would fund a Boris Johnson-led government again.
Well, I keep getting asked that, and...
well, you're a substantial donor. I think it was $500,000.
Yeah, but it was a one-off donation. And it was very, very strictly in a situation where I feared the destruction of Britain's fabric by Corbyn and McDonnell so much that I really wanted to support the Tory party. And also, I liked the policies, and I thought Boris could do a good job and get Brexit done. And indeed, he got Brexit done, albeit we've got one or two issues still outstanding, but he got Brexit done. I haven't agreed with everything that has been done within the pandemic. I think there's been a lot of mistakes made, but it was a tough job to do. And I think he's handled it as well as any politician might have done. So, I still would like to see Boris going forward, but I hate the sleaze. I hated the fact that he supported Owen Paterson at first. He should have just sacked him straight away. And of course, these parties are a fiasco. But we need to get beyond this, and Boris either needs to go or everybody needs to get behind him and drive the policies forward that we elected.
It's clear, John Caudwell, of course, that Boris Johnson has refused regularly to answer the question, if you are found to have misled Parliament, will you resign? Now, that's interesting, because that's a very moral question for you, isn't it? You would say that was a moral question.
Well, I think the thing is, regardless of what I consider on the morality, that's what all politicians do, isn't it? They avoid the question totally. And I can understand why, because they don't want to dig a hole for themselves. But, I think depending on how damning, if it is damning, the Gray report is, then I think there comes a point at which, out of dignity and pride, he ought to resign. But I hope that's not the case. I hope he can sort this party out and sort himself out, because he's made mistakes and he should not have made those mistakes. And I would also make the point that I did offer Boris my services as an advisor on 2 different occasions via letter. And I can tell you without doubt, had I been in the Conservative Party as an advisor, I would have either fallen out with him and been sacked, or these things would not have happened.
I could just turn to John Caudwell before we finish. In your view, who would be your preferred candidate if indeed we come to a position where we see a replacement for Boris Johnson?
Well, let's first of all say I really hope that Boris Johnson can be vindicated on his action. I would still even then say, get a grip of the party, because it happened on your watch, it's happened in your back garden. Get a grip of the party, sort it out, and have clear moral standards. But if he were to go, if he was damned in this next analysis by this study, then I think possibly Jeremy Hunt might be the best guy. But we would lose the charisma that Boris has got and that election-winning style that he has. So I sort of hope he can be like a phoenix and rise from the ashes, but it's going to be a tough job. I just hope he gets there.
Thank you all very much indeed.